Good evening and welcome to the Beaufort County Board of Education meeting of the agenda setting by the Executive Committee. The date is November 13, 2023. This meeting is being conducted at the District Educational Services Center at 2900 Midpoint Boulevard in Beaufort, and it is also being attended remotely via hybrid video conferencing. The meeting is also being live streamed on the school board's YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/@Beaufort County School Board. We now need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All right, and I'll second it since just the two of us on the committee here tonight. Any discussion, Colonel Guyer?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. The media has been properly notified. We now need a motion to approve our October 26, 2023 committee meeting minutes.
So moved.
All right, and I'll second it. Any discussion?
No.
Nope. All right, if you're in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we're on to setting our November 21, 2023 board business meeting agenda, and you have a draft agenda in your documents here tonight. Are we good, Robin? Are you need me to slow? No, you're good. Okay. Okay. So this meeting is going to be conducted over on Hilton Head at the Middle School Media Center. That's just next Tuesday starting at 5 p.m. for executive session, and then public session starting at 6 p.m. Our usual disclaimers at the beginning. Don't see anything there that needs adjustment or correction. Yes.
The legal advice is.
We're not quite there.
Oh, okay.
We're on this part.
Okay, thank you. I just.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you. Just let me know when.
Yep, okay. So now we're down to the time things. At 5 o'clock, the call to order with the executive session. Yes, Ms. Cartledge?
Receipt of legal advice related to my legal claim. This is on there from the last meeting.
Okay, one pending claim
One pending legal claim.
and get rid of the settled.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
All right.
It's 5 o'clock.
Well, let's see. How about the other thing? So amendment for H.E. McCracken Middle School, 8%. Is that safety and security? Do you know what that is? HVAC. It's one of those probably.
I
don't know. Okay.
I just have amendment. So Dr. R is on.
You just have 8% and here is 2019 amendment through March.
Okay. So hi, Dr. Rodriguez, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
So do you know what the amendment is for McCracken Middle School?
I don't have that with me. I know I spoke with Robert this morning and
Okay.
he's going to provide more information.
All righty. And how about the HERE 2019 amendment through March?
Yeah, it's just program management services.
And I don't think that's the way you spell HERE,
No.
Yeah.
but I don't know how you spell that, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could just
Take
fix
it
that.
out, I'll
Yeah.
fix with the
Perfect.
thing.
So I think 5 o'clock is fine. You agree with that?
Yes.
Yep, okay. That's it for the executive session. Then we're down to our public session.
Oh,
We
I'm
have-
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
We also might need to add a potential property acquisition.
Okay. And if you, well, then we'll adjust the time if we feel that it's an issue. Does that sound good?
Yes.
So just put a question mark there or something. All right. All right, so now in the public session, we have, the matters coming out of executive session, the agenda, pledge of allegiance, moment of silence, media notification, then student performance, the Hilton Head Island Middle School band, so they'll be in person.
No, they're
No.
gonna be by video.
Okay, by video, all right. Then we got our points of celebration. Students of the month and May River Girls Golf, Hilton Head Arts Awards, and Bluffton Michelin Challenge winner. And Bluffton Youth and Government State Officers and Adult Ed Student of the Year. That must be award. Yeah, just fix that.
You better have them.
Oh, go ahead, Ingrid. Thank you.
Hey, is this going to be at the district office or at Hilton Head? Because it's the second one of the month, right?
We already covered that. It will
I know,
be
sorry.
at the Hilton Head Middle School Media Center.
That's what I thought. And then I
Yep.
looked at the agenda thing and it said district, it still says DESC in diligence. So I just wanted to make sure. Sorry, I missed that you guys had already covered that.
Okay, no problem. All right. Then we're gonna go to the first public comments. The chair's report. So, Dick is gonna be running this meeting for me, because I'm gonna be out of town and I'm not sure I'm gonna have adequate connectivity. So do you have anything you would like to cover there?
Nope.
Okay. If you think of something, you can add it. Okay. All right, next up, we have the committee reports, so finance, legislation, and operations. All right. And those will
And
have all met
policy will
by-
need to report then as well.
From,
From
Thank
the
you.
Friday before the November 7th meeting, because we didn't report on that because it wasn't on the agenda.
Okay.
Because it was on that Friday.
Yep. Thank you, Ingrid.
I try to pay attention.
Will this include, further, how should I say? Will this include public comments again or no?
Well, we still have the issue of disposing of the second motion that came out of policy committee
Yes.
that was not disposed of.
Okay.
And
All right.
then it has to do, we had a discussion about how things, I don't know how exactly to even phrase it, if that gives you a preview, how things move from the board says we want to make a policy change. Does it go to committee? Does it go back to the all that. So I can provide you with
that
more
sounds good.
information.
Okay, sounds real good. All right, then we're on to the superintendent's report. So Dr. R, under student achievement, you have community engagement.
Yes, we just had a team that had gone out and received some additional training on community engagement and community engagement initiatives. And so our directors wanted to sort of bring that forward as a brief presentation to the board regarding their training
Okay.
and where they went.
All right. Under the rest of the superintendent's report, you have, under other matters, you have hall monitors feasibility.
In my opinion, it was again the law that was something that was suggested that I place it under other matters.
Okay. All righty. Anything else for your report? Can you hear us, Dr. Rodriguez? We cannot hear you.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
It seemed to have gone out. Yeah, saying that under other matters, it was suggested, I thought, at last board meeting when we were doing future
Yes.
topics that we put it on there under other matters and address it.
Okay, all right. So under board business action, we have resolution accepting the referendum.
and I have two more items to add to board
Okay.
business. I have another reimbursement resolution. Tanya's on for that.
Reimbursement resolution, okay,
So give me the,
Correct wording, but it's just a placeholder.
okay,
She can-
what that would is.
and the other one?
The other one is the book appeal.
Oh, that's.
So I'm-
I have to,
Okay,
add the book appeal on.
Tanya, you're with us? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you just briefly, you don't have to get into details, the reimbursement resolution is
Yes.
concerning
So-
what?
Well, I'd like to make sure to put the resolution accepting the results of the election first. So before
Okay.
it doesn't have to be before the book appeal, but it does need to be before the reimbursement resolution. So every time we have an election regarding a bond referendum, we do have to do a resolution. Franny Heiser will be providing the language, and she will be present to present that resolution for us. She will be
Okay.
physically at the November 21st meeting. So that is to accept the election results. The reimbursement resolution, she also recommended and will speak to when she comes, and that is by state law allows us to spend general fund dollars to get started with the referendum projects. And then as soon as the bonds are issued, it allows us to reimburse the general fund. So she's going to speak to that topic and present a resolution for the board to discuss and vote on.
Perfect. Carlton, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wondered if putting the resolution accepting the referendum should be first, because that's very positive. In case there's any type of stuff on the vote polls.
Oh, you mean do it?
Oh, I
before the book
agree.
appeal?
I agree. I think
Gotcha.
it's just what I noticed too. I agree
Okay.
with you. Yeah. The cup is half full instead of half empty. All right.
And we'll
Okay.
get some
I-
more fine-tuned language on those two resolutions. Just we're short of time today to get the full body of the language.
We're fine, though. We've got a placeholder.
Yep.
So the third thing will be the book appeal. I agree in that order. Yeah. All right, then we have two items under the consent agenda, meeting minutes from the 7th and today, later today. All right. And our other usual stuff there. So we can look at our future agenda. I think this is gonna take up quite a bit of time, especially with the committee reports, et cetera. Yeah,
Yeah, I got quite a bit from operations and finance. Operations, I got a lot.
you go on, yeah. And you know, finance and.
Yeah.
Yeah, and policy, it sounds like has.
Yeah.
We're gonna be voting. So do you want to look at this today or, if there's anything that's urgently needs to be on here? We're for the, Robin, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth thing down, superintendent's evaluation proposed changes, that's, we're gonna discuss
Discuss that
tonight, so
tonight,
you
so
can
I'll-
take that off.
Well, I'll put the date on it and
Okay,
it'll come
the
off.
date, yep, perfect. I think the budget's not gonna be until we're in budget season.
Well, the budget breakdown by facility, we don't need to do that until our audit is over.
Yeah.
I don't need to put any more ornaments on
yeah.
Tanya's Christmas tree.
Okay.
May I?
Sure.
We are putting the FY24 budget book on the Finance Committee agenda this week, and that has a breakdown by location of the general fund budgets of every location, of every school. So that
Okay.
might help address that.
That'll
Okay.
probably then come off
All right.
too,
Mhm.
okay? Yeah. So Ingrid, since you're on here, the future agenda comments includes that public comments policy that we did at the work session, as you know. Was it 8:25? Seems so long ago.
It was one of those meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
We've had it on there a couple of times.
okay,
I really think the strategic review.
Yeah.
I think it's a work session, but I think in general session, we can at least provide an outline. Just starting a strategic review with nothing is not a good idea,
Uh-huh.
but nothing more than what are the topics? What are the parameters? What are the timeframe? What is going to be considered strategic? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. But that is something that I think we could do in open session. And then that will help set us up for a work session to get into the eaches on it.
Yeah, if I,
Yeah, go ahead.
to follow up on what the Colonel is saying, one of the major things that hopefully should be an output of the strategic review is where is the demand for the services the school district provides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that may lead us to, having new offerings that we've never considered before. So we don't want to constrain that.
Yeah.
And then the other things that will be, as he's saying, part of, I think, where the demand comes from.
Yeah.
Would be, the priority along with the girls.
And the
Yeah.
45-day count.
Yeah, I was just thinking
We should have that. And we should be able to provide that at the next meeting.
Yeah, when's that available, Dr. R?
Tanya, are you on?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
She is.
Tanya, when can we get them the 45-day count?
I think it is already available. And that comes out of Dr. Stratus's office. But we could certainly bring that forward.
Yeah.
So how about under, have it under superintendent's report, I guess, under, I don't know where you want it, under fiscal responsibility or other matters?
Yeah, but you can put it under other matters. That's fine.
Okay, so let's add that 45-day count to this agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is going to be, here's a report.
Yeah, exactly. Here are the numbers. Okay.
Madam Chair?
And I think, yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Did I start?
No worries. I know talking about the strategic review, but what, in looking at the timeline, compared to last year, it seems to me that other boards in October and November are looking at budget priorities, which is different than the strategic review. Because I don't want to get to March and April again and have a fully completed budget and have questions at that point. And so it seems to me like this time frame would be the appropriate time frame to talk about, looking at the district's budget priorities, et cetera, et cetera. Will that be coming out of finance committee as well?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
So will that be that's not in the report for this one though, then, right?
Yes, it should be. I think it's on the topic for, if not, we'll add it. It's Thursday.
But you guys haven't already discussed it where it would be coming forward under the finance committee report already on the agenda, correct?
But
Yes,
they're having a meeting this week.
Thursday.
Right. It just, okay, yeah, I guess, I was thinking the 21st, so that's right. I was thinking the 21st was more imminent than it is. Got
Just
it.
need to put that.
Okay. All right. So just remember that. Budget priority.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It seems like we've covered this pretty well, because I don't think, that's a lot of.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
And just as a matter of housekeeping, you can take the pre-K for educators topic off. That's been on there for a long time. Pre-K for employees.
Okay,
That's been on there for like
Thank you.
almost a year.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
That at some point, I guess we'll be in the strategic review, the birth to 5 discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No issue.
Absolutely.
And,
Okay, so I think we've covered the agenda for the meeting on the 21st.
on announcement,
Yeah.
I got some information because to talk about development,
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Burton area,
Okay,
and, I can bring it up at our board meeting,
perfect.
okay?
Okay. Burton Development, okay. Thank you, Earl. All right, so next.
November 30th.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything differently to that, correct?
Let's see, so the next agenda we're gonna set is for. A special called executive session meeting on Thursday, November 30th at 5:30 PM here at the district office. And it's also gonna be hybrid video conferencing available. And this is when we meet an executive session with the attorney that has done Dr. Rodriguez's contract and the amendments he's had to discuss his evaluation this year and any potential changes to compensation. So I don't see, this looks fine to me. Yeah. All right. Anything, Dr. Rodriguez, for that you have? Oh, the agenda looks fine.
No, nothing from me.
Okay,
Ingrid,
Ingrid, and then William. Ingrid?
you're muted if you're speaking.
Maybe she didn't take her hand down. William? We'll come back to you, Ingrid, if you want to speak.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I was going to ask, in that meeting, who will be representing us in terms of the contract? The board?
We just said Andrea White, who's always represented us.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So that's November 30th. Next, we go on to the next agenda setting is the meeting for the joint board SIC meeting, and that is scheduled for December 7th. And that's scheduled here at the district office. I think that would be another good thing to have South of the Broad. We've had it here last year.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to start moving stuff down as so much has been here. All right, so Dr. Rodriguez,
Go ahead.
Last one south of the Broad, we had it at Hilton Head High's library. That was,
Hello?
Where the last one was.
that was,
yeah, it was a joint SIC meeting. We
but
had-
it wasn't the Christmas one or the whatever you want to call this
It
one.
was, the one,
At the end of the year, I think,
it was the one we had in March.
March, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the last one was
All
at,
right,
on Hilton Head High.
well, let's do this on the south. And then we can do the next one on the north, just for different time of year. Okay. So do you have so having the joint board SIC meeting on December 7th, could that be also in the media center of the Hilton Head Middle School?
I would suggest, I mean, are you looking to do it on Hilton Head or anywhere Southern Beaufort
Yes.
County?
Well, Southern is fine.
You know, a few years ago, we did it at H.E. McCracken. And we did it, we had the initial meeting with everybody in the gymnasium at H.E. McCracken.
And then you all broke out.
Good
and it's
groups.
different
Yeah, I remember
groups.
that actually. Yeah. Well, once again, the hardest part of this meeting, I think, is knowing what we're gonna cover for agenda. Does anybody have any?
I think once you identify what you're going to cover, then you can identify after that, you can lay out the format.
Yeah, so I'm taking input. What are?
So in the
suggestions?
past, we have asked the SICs to
Yeah.
send, we asked them what they would like to talk about, what their topics are.
Uh-huh.
And then we take those and we take 3 or the top, or depending on how many they are, and that's what you all talk about and report out on. So usually the topics come majority of the time from the
They're on-
SIC.
Okay. And that would be like, Kristen Casper would
Yes,
query them and.
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
If you're looking for another one, after seeing the effectiveness of the combined efforts of everybody in the referendum, maybe asking the SIC what concrete ideas do they have about how we could continue that.
That's a great idea.
All right,
Yeah,
and tie in with the superintendent's ambassador program.
yeah.
And I also up here in Zoom world, piggybacking on Mr. Dallas's point, I think there are two themes that have kind of emerged in SICs. One being, it'd be nice to say, okay, the referendum's passed. Here's what y'all can expect, and kind of get some feedback or whatever on that. And the second thing is communication. I think that's a real thing with SICs. If there's a way to improve district to school communication.
Thank you. So Dr. Rodriguez, the best, if we go for Bluffton, it would work at the McCracken, at H.E. McCracken.
Yeah, I mean, McCracken, well, I mean, I'd have to check to make sure that that they don't have anything going on that
Something
day
else,
at
yeah.
the school,
Middle
but in terms of space, I mean, they have the gymnasium, which is certainly large enough to host a big group initially. And if the board decided to do a breakout or something like that, we would have space there to do breakout as well in the different sections of the school.
Okay.
Would you all want this both hybrid or is this in person only?
Really hard to do. Breakout
Except-
sessions in Zoom.
Yes.
And
It is hard.
And we always break out the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools. Because they have different, I just don't see how it works very well.
No, when I've broken into groups like that on Zoom, it has only been a Zoom meeting. It's not also been a.
Correct, correct. It has
Yeah.
not been
a hybrid.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep it in person.
Okay.
And I still think we should query the SICs. We can say that the board suggestions were the continued engagement really of the community or communication with the community as was done for the referendum. And then also for the SICs to hear kind of what to expect as the referendum projects get up and running. That would be two topics. All right. Any other comments or questions or? All right, so Dr. R, if you'll look into having it at McCracken, if that's not feasible, maybe Bluffton Middle School should be the second choice. So it would be in Bluffton because it has not been there in the last few years.
Williams.
Sounds good.
Mr. Smith?
I just remember us using Bluffton High School, high school as well, for something in the cafeteria. The cafeteria area gave us a lot of room, and I think that's a good area to have to be able to talk to everyone. That's a large amount of area, and right there you have different various areas that you can veer off into. I think that would be another good area in terms of meeting in large groups of people. I think we've been successful, and right above the cafeteria is a library. Two sort of groups would need to meet. Just FYI.
Okay, thank you. All right. We have no further business tonight for the agenda setting.
I'm going to be adjourned.
Thank you. All right.